Hello everyone and good morning. This is the Breville Barista Touch Impress model BES881. This is the latest machine from Breville. Released a few months ago. It was supposed to be sort of between the Oracle and the Barista Touch. It's basically a automated single boiler machine. Got automated grinding, automated frothing, and a touch screen, which puts it in a very unique position. This machine was recently bought by a customer of mine, Mitch, all the way in Queensland, and he's allowed me to do a demo video on his unit. This is basically a new machine in brushed stainless steel. And in this video I'll be trying my best to set it up to the right settings and make a coffee on it. We'll be making a latte, and I'll tell you my sort of approach with coffee machines in general. Let's turn it on. Being a machine that uses the thermojet heating system, it's fairly quick, so it's about 10 seconds until it's ready. It's asking me to do a coffee tutorial. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to reduce the brightness because I believe you can't see it on the screen. Let's see. Yeah, that's hopefully better. Yeah, that looks good. So, I like to begin every session with a blank shot. So I'll go into the coffee menu and run about 30 seconds of hot water through the handle into the cup, and that's to warm up those components. So lock it in, put it underneath, press brew. It's saying brew was a bit too fast. Consider reducing the grind size. So it actually monitors your flow rate. So if you run a shot and the shot runs the entire 50-60 mils in 13 seconds, it knows something is wrong. Now I can't remember if this machine doses by time or by volume. I think we're about to find out. Maybe if we go into the settings and we see if there's any collaborate with intelligent brew to get the best taste. Cool. It actually gives you a bit of teaching about when to use pressurized baskets versus non-pressurized baskets in the menus. So it's telling me how to adjust grind size. Interesting. Yeah, that's very cool. I don't know if we'll have time to go through that today. You know what? Let's do it. I don't see why not. I don't have anything planned for this morning. I will. Oh, before I continue, I just want to let you know, Mitch, that I'm using my own components. So I'm using my own portafilter, my own milk jug, and my own bean hopper, and that's to keep your components nice and clean in the box. So just as an aside, that's why this one looks a little bit different than the original hopper. Yours will come with a normal one. Right, so put some beans. Now I haven't made any coffees on it, so I think it's on grind size number 10. It's telling me you'll need freshly roasted beans, yep, clean coffee cup, yep, and a clean cloth. Roasted within 30 days, yes. Leave your grind size at your current setting. If you're not sure, set it to 15. Ready to start grinding. Type the portafilter image to start. Note that the calibration is best done with a double filter basket. Yep, that's what we're using. Some beans. We'll put it on grind size 10. You know, just to save ourselves some time, I'm going to quickly go into the normal menu and grind a little bit just to have a look at the grind size. Is it too large? Is it too fine? And in hopes of not wasting a lot of coffee. So I believe, or I hope the system will be going through the shots telling me if it's too quick or too slow, which is actually very advanced for a coffee machine to tell you how to dial in your coffee. Regardless, we'll put this aside. I'm going to be measuring the inputs and outputs on my scale here. For my curiosity, I like to see what the machine's dose. Usually this is an 18 to 19 gram system. And I'm using the standard portafilter, the same that comes with your machine, and the standard double basket that's pre-installed in your machine. Put the portafilter and press grind. Let's have a look. Oops, a bit more. That looks not too bad, maybe a bit on the coarser side. So I'll go to grind size 8. I feel like 10 is a bit too large. Or, you know what, we'll let it go. We'll see what the system says. See if the computer detects that the grind size 10 is too large. Intelligent brew. And we'll do the same things. So this is running a bit too long, longer than I expected, but it'll be worth it, I promise. Ready to start grinding. Tap the grinder. Okay, now it's asking me to temp. Press the lever all the way down. So temp is a little bit too low. It's asking me to continue. So now it ground a little bit more to see if now it's up to the right level. Still a bit too low. Done, and it's telling me that it's at the right height. Very, very good. Would you look at that? It's a nicely tamped coffee, not even loose coffee here. Usually there's a bit of loose coffee, if I'm being honest, around the sides. So I'll just wipe those away. But yeah, that looks nicely tamped. And let's have a look. This is 18.8 grams, so about what I expected. It does tend to push a bit more than 18 grams, and I think that's just a function of how much force it applies onto this. Before judging, let's move on and see if that's the correct grind size. So now it's asking me to click next. Ready to brew. Insert the portafilter. Already done that. Place your cup underneath. I'm also going to be measuring the output in terms of milligrams. So usually for espresso, the rule is for every gram of coffee you grind, you want 2 grams out into your cup. That's a 2-to-1 ratio. So we've got, we'll call it 19 grams in to the handle. Out of the handle should be 38 or 40. Few grams here and there is okay. This is not a science. It's more of an art, I think, coffee making. So it doesn't have to be exactly on the dot. And you may like the taste if it's a bit too long or a bit too short. It's all preference. So, but anyway, I will measure it just for my curiosity. I've got the scale set to 0 now with the cup, and then we will brew. See how long it takes. Touch the button. Oops. I made the mistake of pressing T instead of the clock button. I think we lost a few grams there in the beginning. But that looks like a really good shot. Your machine is now brewing cafe quality coffee. So I think it's happy about the pour. Wow, we got it right in the first go. I can't believe we did that. That's 30 grams, and I think we lost about 5 grams in the beginning. So this is about 35 gram shot. Incredible. Okay, so the machine is happy. I am quite happy. So yeah, we did lose a few grams. That was my mistake for pressing the tear button. But we're good to go. I will extract a bit more coffee. Not ideal, but I will do that just to get more caffeine out of the shot. be enough. Awesome. That's yeah, that's 40 grams. Well, didn't do much work there. The machine basically was good at grind size 10. I'm happy that we didn't adjust it to grind size 8 in that case. So look, Mitch, different beans will have different grind size sort of zones. Some beans will need to be ground very fine, like usually the cheaper beans need to be ground fine. So you'll probably need to go to 5 for those. Really good beans, like freshly roasted beans, if you buy it right from the roaster nearby or from your local cafe. Those good quality beans usually don't need to be ground as fine because they have so much freshness and flavors in them. So that's what I've noticed over the years. And yeah, it looks like these are good quality beans. I'm using the Aldi dark beans. I'm pretty happy about them. Usually I recommend them actually. Most supermarket beans are not fresh, unfortunately. They are among the very few that are fresh. Anyway, after you do the coffee, I recommend doing a flush. And that's to clean everything. Just put your portafilter underneath, press the stop button, and just run a few seconds of hot water. Great. Once that's done, you can lock in your portafilter and leave it there. I wouldn't recommend locking it all the way. That's going to put too much pressure on the seal, the group head seal. This way is fine. It's going to dry. And you don't have to move it all the way to the sink. Right, next I'm going to be doing some milk steaming. But before we do that, I'm just going to add some hazelnut syrup to my coffee. Okay. Ideally, you should add the sugar or the whatever sweetener or flavor you want to add it before the espresso is brewed, such that as the espresso is brewed into the cup, it mixes at the same time, and you wouldn't have to really mix it with a spoon too much afterwards. Now I'm adding some milk to the milk jug. The recommended level is about halfway, and recommended to use cold milk. That's going to give the machine more time to aerate and froth the milk. Great. So I filled it about halfway, or just below this spout level. My jug has because I used to have a manual machine, I have the thermometer. Yours doesn't. Obviously the thermometer is here, and it's digital rather than being on the jug itself. Put it there, and I think for a latte on my machine, I have the Barista Touch, the standard non-impress one, and I use, temperature at 60, froth level at 4, because I think 5 is a bit too much froth. We'll put it on 4 and see what happens. 5 is too much foam, is what I'm trying to say. It's too thick. There's also the ability to do the coffee and milk one after the other. I think they call it the milk MILQ feature, where in one button, you set up the milk here, you put your coffee here, You press the one button, it'll brew, and after the brew, it'll froth the milk. So you don't have to like wait for the coffee to finish and then press froth on the wand. I haven't done that today. To be frank, I don't know how to set it up. It's my first time using this machine. But it looks like it's done. Doesn't take too long. Less than a minute, I think. Just lower it and make sure you have a wet towel or a napkin ready. Being an insulated wand, it's actually super easy to wipe off. You don't even need a wet towel or wet tissue like usual, because it doesn't actually get hot. It's a tube of metal. Around it is plastic insulation. Around it is this outside tube of metal. So it's actually it doesn't get really hot. So you don't have milk build-up or milk caking on the wand, they call it. Push it down. It will try to clean itself and spray a little bit of air. Sometimes it makes a mess. That's my only gripe about these machines, is that the auto clean makes a mess. But nothing that a little piece of tissue can't fix. Make sure you wipe all edges. You don't have any milk in the nooks and crannies. And all done. That's a good level of froth, I would say. I'm knocking the jug on the counter to break any big air bubbles that I see. And swirl it around to mix. Okay. Look, I'm not a barista, so please don't expect latte art, but this is the final result. It's a coffee, looks delicious. I'm sure if you do some practice, you can easily do latte art much better than I can. I often get some patterns, but today I haven't. Yeah, so that's on number 4 on the froth level. You can actually also froth manually if you wanted to. So push it up and it'll say manual, push it down and it'll be auto. And that's how it works. And that's a latte on your Breville Barista Touch Impress, Mitch. Hope you've enjoyed this video, or at least hope it helps. I didn't really have to do much in terms of dialing. So it's just grind size 10, and now the machine knows how much to grind. Let's have a look. Yeah, it probably knows how much to grind. It's probably memorized it, so I'm not going to change that. If you ever get lost, I think go back to the menu and go to the intelligent brew setup, and it'll help you dial in your beans. I assume, and this is according to what I've seen on other reviewers like Coffee Kev, I assume that if it's a shot that runs too quick, as you saw in the beginning, it will say a note, coffee too quick, think of or consider reducing the grind size to slow it down. On the other hand, I believe if it runs too slow, which we'll try now, quickly try it with a blank disc. This is just from my curiosity. I'm gonna run it with the blank disc, so that's gonna block all water flow. This is the cleaning disc, so it's perfectly safe for the machine, but it's gonna block all the water flow, and it'll probably tell me that the grind size is too fine, or flow was too slow, or something like that. Shot was too slow. This disc is included with your machine in the cleaning kit. That's going to flush the valves whenever you do the cleaning cycle. So you have the same one in your machine as well. It even has a little progress bar. That's very cute. You had the same thing when frothing and grinding. Yeah, very nice animations on this. Almost done. There we go. Brewing is too slow, consider increasing your grind size. And that's because the flow meter on the pump detected that indeed there was too slow overflow. And on the other hand, if I ran it like this without any pressure at all on the other extreme, it'll say too quick. I just wanted to show you that. A lot of water spraying will wipe it off after. It'll stop at 13 seconds, I believe. Yep, so it's volumetric based, not time based. Brewing is too fast, consider reducing your grind size. Very good. So it'll do the same. Oops, don't do that. No. Almost started the steam on. It'll do the same if you are running coffee that's ground too large. It'll tell you it's too quick, or ground too fine. It'll tell you it's too slow. If you're confused what grind size is, it's this dial here. It will adjust how fine or how coarse the coffee granules are. Finer obviously means smaller, and that'll slow down your extraction. It'll slow down your coffee, and it'll give you smaller volume in the end. That's because, you know, think of it like water going through a cup of flour really hard. Very, very little gaps between the flour particles, versus water going through a cup made of gravels, or gravel, or like large stones. It'll flow too quick, so that's larger grind sizes. And yeah, you can think of the grind size as the speed. So larger number means a faster flow. But looks like 10 is pretty good for these beans that I'm using. Use the same settings I would recommend. It's an intelligent machine. It knows how much to grind. So if you put the handle, it'll know how many seconds to grind for. That's the beauty of it. It knows the dose, and if it is too little or too much, it'll tell you. If it's too much, which didn't happen in this video, if it's too much, it'll ask you to use the razor tool. This is the razor tool, and it'll ask you to scrape off the excess. So you basically let's try to do it here. It's very messy. I'm doing this one-handed. It'll ask you to remove the excess coffee by scraping it like that, and that's gonna remove the top layer of coffee that's excessive, that's in excess, and then it'll ask you to tamp again just to check the height, and then if it's happy, it'll give you the smiley face, or it'll give you the green line. If it's too little, like what happened in the beginning of the video, it'll ask you to grind for a little bit more, and then tamp and grind a bit more and tamp, and when it's happy, it'll stop there, and it'll actually memorize the setting. And I believe that's what's happened here. It's memorized the setting. So now if we make another coffee with the same beans, with the same grind size, it'll be the same results. So it'll be the same grind time, and then you tamp it and you'll be happy. It'll give you a happy face, or like a green line, meaning that it's the correct amount of coffee. A lot of talking, but it's a lot of machine, if I'm being honest. I think this is easily the best machine that Breville makes in a single boiler model. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's been a long video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate in contacting me. And I will, I'll be drying the machine, cleaning it, and I'll be posting it later this afternoon. Cheers.